So last week, we studied the section called King Yudhishthir's Intention. Krishna left Dwaraka and went to Hastinapur, the capital of the Pandavas. And Krishna went there because Yudhishthir invited him to attend his Rajasuya sacrifice. And in last week's class, we learned what were the reasons why Yudhishthir wanted Krishna to attend the Rajasuya sacrifice. And Yudhishthir made it very clear. His intention was to teach everyone, not only the Kauravas, but even the demigods. He wanted to show that you, Krishna, are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That was his ultimate intention. It wasn't really for his own aggrandizement. His purpose was, I want to show the world that you, Krishna, are the Supreme and that everyone must surrender to you. But in the end, Krishna pointed out to Yudhishthir that first they had to conquer all the other inferior or subservient kings. And a challenge horse would be sent out, and either the king would surrender and give tribute to Yudhishthir, or if the king refused, then there would be a fight. And then it was understood that before they could perform the Rajasuya sacrifice, first the belligerent king Jarasandha had to be killed. Now we may recall that Krishna already confronted Jarasandha actually 19 times. 17 times Krishna defeated Jarasandha's army and left Jarasandha to return home only to gather another army of demons, because we know from Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam, that Krishna comes for 4 purposes: to give audience and blessings to the devotees, to kill the upstart demons who do not accept Krishna, to establish true, real religion, and to wipe out irreligion. So according to the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, this is Krishna's 4 reasons why he descends as an avatar. Avatar means one who comes down from the spiritual world down to the mortal plane. So in 17 battles, Krishna defeated Jarasandha, and then on the 18th time, Jarasandha teamed up with another demon, Kalayavana. And Kalayavana was led into a cave by Krishna, and Kalayavana thought that there was a sleeping man in the cave, and so that must be Krishna hiding from him. Now, Krishna knew exactly who the sleeping man was, but Kalayavana did not. Kalayavana thought it was Krishna pretending to sleep. So Kalayavana mistakenly kicked the sleeping man, and when the sleeping man awoke, simply with his gaze, he burned Kalayavana to ashes, because he had received that benediction from Kartikeya. This king, Muchukunda, had fought for many years on behalf of the demigods, fighting the demons. So after the battle, Skanda, or the son of Lord Shiva, Kartikeya, wanted to give Muchukunda a benediction. And so he requested, I'm so tired from fighting, I want to have uninterrupted sleep for as long as I want. And if anyone is to wake me untimely, then I want to be able to kill this person simply by glancing. So Krishna knew all this. So that's why Krishna led Kalayavana, and Muchukunda killed him. Then Krishna returned to the battlefield, and along with Balaram, Krishna displayed his pastime as Ranachor, because it appeared that Krishna was leaving the battlefield, fleeing Jarasandha. And Krishna went to the top of a mountain, and Jarasandha was thinking, oh, now Krishna is afraid of fighting me. But that was not what Krishna actually was doing. Krishna did not want to fight Jarasandha this 18th time, because Krishna knew very soon Rukmini is going to ask me to kidnap her. So Jarasandha lit fires all around the base of the mountain. Balaram and Krishna had traveled up the mountain to the top. Jarasandha lit fires, and Jarasandha thought, now I have defeated Krishna. But Krishna and Balaram jumped from the top of the mountain 88 miles. And Balaram went to Mithila, and Krishna went to Dwaraka and subsequently kidnapped Rukmini. But the 19th time, when Krishna kidnapped Rukmini, Jarasandha was there because his friend Shishupal was supposed to marry Rukmini. So when Krishna kidnapped Rukmini, Jarasandha again fought with Krishna. But Jarasandha and his army was defeated by Balaram. And then Jarasandha went to Shishupal and said, well, we have tried our best, and you should have gone and fight Krishna. So 19 times Jarasandha and Krishna fought. So now Krishna is going to go and finally finish off Jarasandha once and for all. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this episode is entitled, I Am Your Old Enemy, Krishna. King Yudhishthira was very anxious, however, when he heard that King Jarasandha of Magadha did not accept his sovereignty. Seeing King Yudhishthira's anxiety, Lord Krishna informed Yudhishthira of the plan explained by Uddhava for conquering King Jarasandha. Bhimasena, Arjuna, and Lord Krishna then started for Giri Vraja, the capital city of Jarasandha, dressing themselves in the garb of Brahmanas. This was the plan devised by Uddhava before Krishna even started for Hastinapur, and now it was given practical application. As it was, King Jarasandha was a very dutiful householder, and Jarasandha had great respect for the Brahmanas. Jarasandha was a great fighter, a Kshatriya king, but Jarasandha was never neglectful of the Vedic injunctions. According to Vedic injunctions, Brahmanas are considered to be spiritual masters of all other castes, namely Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Lord Krishna, Arjuna, and Bhimasena were actually Kshatriyas, but they dressed themselves as Brahmanas. And at the time when King Jarasandha was to give charity to Brahmanas and receive them as guests, they approached Jarasandha. Lord Krishna then, in the dress of a Brahmana, said to King Jarasandha, "We wish all glories to your majesty. We 3 guests at your royal palace have come from a great distance just to ask you for charity. And so we hope that you will kindly bestow upon us whatever we ask from you. We know about your good qualities. A person who is tolerant is always prepared to tolerate everything, even though it may be distressful. Just as a criminal can perform the most abominable acts, a greatly charitable person like you can give anything and everything for which he is asked. For a great personality like you, there is no distinction between relatives and outsiders. A famous man lives forever, even after his death. Therefore, any person who is completely fit and able to execute such acts, which will perpetuate one's good name and fame, and yet does not do so, becomes abominable in the eyes of great persons. Such a person cannot be condemned enough, and his refusal to give charity is lamentable throughout his whole life. Your Majesty must have heard the glorious names of charitable personalities, such as Harishchandra, Ranti Dev, and Mudgala, who used to live only on grains picked up from the paddy field, and the great Maharaj Shibi, who saved the life of a pigeon by supplying flesh from his own body. These great personalities have attained immortal fame simply by sacrificing the temporary and perishable body. Prabhupada now comments, to pay off his debts to Vishvamitra, Harishchandra sold everything he had, including his wife and children. And yet, even after attaining the status of a Chandala, Harishchandra did not become discouraged. And thus, Harishchandra went to heaven together with all the inhabitants of Ayodhya. Ranti Dev, after going without even water for 48 days, somehow obtained some food and water, and then some beggars came, and Ranti Dev gave it all away to them. And in this way, Ranti Dev attained Brahma Loka. Mudgala followed the practice of gathering grains left behind in the fields after the harvest. Yet, Mudgala still was hospitable toward uninvited guests, even after his family had been suffering in poverty for 6 months. Thus, Mudgala also went to Brahmaloka. To protect a pigeon who had taken shelter of him, King Shibi gave his own flesh to a hawk and attained heaven. Shibi gave his own flesh to a hawk and thus attained heaven. The pigeon and his mate gave their own flesh to a hunter as a show of hospitality, and thus they were taken to heaven in a celestial airplane. And when the hunter understood their situation in the mode of goodness, he also became renounced and gave up hunting and went off to perform severe austerities. And because the hunter was now freed from all sins, after his body burned to death in a forest fire, the hunter was elevated to heaven. Thus, many personalities have attained enduring life on heavenly planets by means of the temporary material body. So in the garb of a Brahmana, Lord Krishna convinced Jarasandha that fame is imperishable, but the body is perishable. And if one can attain imperishable name and fame by sacrificing one's perishable body, one then becomes a very respectable figure in the history of human civilization. And while Lord Krishna was speaking in the disguise of a Brahmana, along with Arjuna and Bhima, Jarasandha noticed that the three of them did not actually appear to be Brahmanas, for there were signs on their bodies by which Jarasandha could understand that they were actually Kshatriyas. Their shoulders were marked with impressions due to carrying bows. They had beautiful bodily structure, and their voices were grave and commanding. Thus, Jarasandha definitively concluded that they were not Brahmins, but really Kshatriyas. And Jarasandha also thought that he had somehow or other, somewhere before, met them. But although these three persons were Kshatriyas, they had now come to his door begging alms like Brahmanas. Therefore, Jarasandha decided that he would fulfill their desires in spite of their being Kshatriyas, because they had already diminished their position by appearing before him as beggars. Indeed, Jarasandha had seen Lord Krishna, Bhimasen, and Arjuna at Draupadi's Swayamvara ceremony. Since they had come begging in the guise of Brahmanas, Jarasandha thought, well, they must be low-class Kshatriyas. Jarasandha thus felt inner satisfaction, because Jarasandha thought that his enemies had been humiliated by having to dress like Brahmanas just to approach him. Thus, Jarasandha started thinking, under the circumstances, I am prepared to give these so-called Brahmanas anything, even if they ask for my body. I shall not hesitate to offer it to them. In this regard, Jarasandha began to think of Bali Maharaj. Lord Vishnu, in the dress of a Brahmana, appeared as a beggar before Bali and snatched away all of Bali's opulence and his kingdom. Bali did this for the benefit of Indra, who, having been defeated by Bali Maharaj, was bereft of his kingdom. Although Bali Maharaj was cheated, his reputation as a great devotee, able to give anything and everything in charity, is still glorified throughout the three worlds. Bali Maharaj could surmise that the Brahmana who had approached him was Lord Vishnu himself, who had come to Bali just to take away his opulent kingdom on behalf of Indra. Bali's spiritual master and family priest, Shukra Acharya, repeatedly warned Bali about this. Yet, Bali did not hesitate to give in charity whatever the Brahman wanted. And at last, Bali Maharaj gave up everything to Vamanadev. Jarasandha further thought, it is my strong determination that if I can achieve immortal reputation by sacrificing this perishable body, then I must act for that purpose. The life of a Kshatriya who does not live for the benefit of the Brahmanas is certainly condemned. Actually, King Jarasandha was very liberal in giving charity to Brahmanas. Thus, Jarasandha informed Lord Krishna, Bhima, and Arjuna and spoke as follows. So, my dear Brahmanas, you may ask from me whatever you like. If you so desire, well, you may take my head also, for I am prepared to give it. After this, Lord Krishna addressed Jarasandha as follows. My dear king, please note, we are not actually Brahmanas, nor have we come to ask for food or grains. We are all Kshatriyas, and we have come to beg a duel with you. So we hope that you will agree to this proposal. Now you may note that right here is the second son of King Pandu, Bhimasena, as well as the third son of Pandu, Arjuna. And as for myself, you may know that I am your old enemy Krishna, the cousin of the Pandavas. When Lord Krishna disclosed their disguise, King Jarasandha laughed very loudly. Ha 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 ha! Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! And then, in great anger and in a grave voice, Jarasandha exclaimed, You fools! If you want to fight with me, I immediately grant your request. But Krishna, I know that you are a coward. So I refuse to fight with you, because you become very confused when you face me in fighting. Yes, out of fear of me, you left your own city, Mathura, and now you have taken shelter within the sea. Therefore, I must refuse to fight with you. And as far as Arjuna is concerned, I know that he is younger than me, so he is not an equal fighter. So I refuse to fight with Arjuna because Arjuna is not in any way an equal competitor. But as far as Bhimasena is concerned, yes, I think he is a suitable competitor to fight with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The next episode is entitled, Bhimasena Fights Jarasandha for 27 days. After speaking in this way, King Jarasandha immediately handed a very heavy club to Bhimasena. Jarasandha himself took another, and then all of them went outside the city walls to fight. Bhimasena and King Jarasandha engaged themselves in fighting, and with their respective clubs, which were as strong as thunderbolts, they began to strike each other very severely, both of them eager to fight. They were both expert fighters with clubs, and their techniques of striking each other were so beautiful that they appeared to be two dramatic artists dancing on the stage. When the clubs of Jarasandha and Bhimasena loudly collided, the impact sounded like that of big tusks of fighting elephants, or like a thunderbolt in a flashing electrical storm. For when two elephants fight together in a sugarcane field, each of them snatches a stick of sugarcane, holds it tightly in its trunk, and strikes the other. At that time, the sugarcane becomes smashed by such heavy striking. So similarly, when Bhimasena and Jarasandha were heavily striking each other with their clubs on different parts of the body, namely the shoulders, arms, collarbone, chest, thighs, waist, and legs, their clubs became torn to pieces. In this way, all of the clubs used by Jarasandha and Bhimasena became ruined, and so the two enemies prepared to fight with their strong-fisted hands. Jarasandha and Bhimasena were very angry, and they began to smash each other with their fists. Their striking of their fists sounded like the striking of iron bars, or like the sound of thunderbolts. And the two warriors appeared to be like two elephants fighting. But neither was able to defeat the other, however, for both were expert in fighting. They were of equal strength, and their fighting techniques were also equal. So neither Jarasandha nor Bhimasena became fatigued or defeated in the fighting, although they struck each other continuously. Yet, at the end of each day's fighting, they would live at night as friends in Jarasandha's palace, and the next day they would fight again. In this way they passed 27 days of fighting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I know you don't want me to stop, so let's continue. This third episode is entitled Bhimasena Kills Jarasandha. On the 28th day, Bhimasena told Krishna, "My dear Krishna, I must admit frankly that I cannot conquer Jarasandha." However, Lord Krishna knew the mystery of Jarasandha's mysterious birth. For Jarasandha had been born in two different parts from two different mothers. And when Jarasandha's father saw that the baby was useless, he threw the two parts into the forest. Later, they were found by a witch named Jara, who was skilled in the black arts. Jara managed to join the two parts of the baby from top to bottom. Knowing this, Lord Krishna therefore also knew how to kill Jarasandha. Krishna hinted to Bhimasena that since Jarasandha was brought to life by the joining of the two parts of the body, Jarasandha could be killed by the separation of these two parts. Thus, Lord Krishna transferred his power into the body of Bhimasena and informed Bhima of the device by which Jarasandha could be killed. Lord Krishna picked up a twig from a tree, took it in his hand, and bifurcated it. In this way, Krishna hinted to Bhimasena how Jarasandha could be killed. Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is omnipotent. So if Krishna wants to kill someone, no one can save that person. Similarly, if Krishna wants to save someone, no one can kill that person. Having now been informed by the hints of Lord Krishna, Bhimasena immediately took hold of Jarasandha's legs and threw Jarasandha to the ground. And when Jarasandha fell, Bhimasena immediately pressed one of Jarasandha's legs to the ground and took hold of the other leg with his two hands. Catching Jarasandha in this way, Bhima tore Jarasandha's body into two, beginning from the anus up to the head. Just as an elephant breaks the branches of a tree into two, Bhimasena separated the body of Jarasandha. The audience standing nearby now saw that Jarasandha's body was divided into two halves, so that each half had one leg, one thigh, one testicle, half a backbone, half a chest, one collarbone, one arm, one eye, one ear, and a half a face. And as soon as the news of Jarasandha was announced, all the citizens of Magadha began to cry, "Alas! Alas!" While Lord Krishna and Arjuna embraced Bhimasena, they congratulated him. Although Jarasandha was killed, neither Krishna nor the two Pandava brothers made a claim to his throne, for their purpose in killing Jarasandha was simply to stop Jarasandha from creating a disturbance to the proper discharge of world peace. A demon is one who always creates disturbances, whereas a demigod always tries to keep peace in the world. The mission of Lord Krishna is to protect the righteous and kill the demons who disturb a peaceful situation. Therefore, Lord Krishna immediately called for the son of Jarasandha, whose name was Sahadev, and with due ritualistic ceremonies, Krishna asked Sahadev to occupy the seat of his father and reign over the kingdom peacefully. Lord Krishna is the master of the whole cosmic creation, and Krishna wants everyone to live peacefully and execute Krishna consciousness. So after installing Sahadev on the throne, Krishna released all the kings and princes, numbering 20,080, who had been imprisoned unnecessarily by Jarasandha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.